What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Jose, TheNYCGeek, aka TNG, aka your Elden Lord, aka the one who will sit the throne today. Hold on, so over here, aka the guy who is here to further update y'all on what I'm sure everybody's talking about right now, because I know it's trending all over Twitter, and that is the guilty verdict of one Jonathan Majors, aka the actor who was formerly known as Kang. He who will not remain in the MCU, that's for damn sure, because as of less than about 2 hours ago, sorry, I had to eat some dinner as I got home. I wanted to put out a video on this as soon as I did. Marvel will part ways with Jonathan Majors after guilty verdict. Mr. Majors was convicted of misdemeanor assault and harassment for attacking his girlfriend in a car. The company dropped the actor shortly after. Look, I said this last week, and it was weird, right? Because I said this in a video last week about what will Disney do? Because Jonathan Majors, whether he was guilty or innocent, he was going to be a tainted product, right? He was going to hurt their brand, and not that they give a shit about that, because they've been hurting their own brand for years now. But I had said, hey, I had said, look, man, this is the way they should go, right? I was very for Disney staying with Jonathan Majors, right? Because yes, you should investigate allegations, but you shouldn't shit on someone and fire them immediately without there being a trial, right? Without there being an actual investigation. What I called Disney on was their hypocrisy for doing that for Jonathan Majors, but shitting on Johnny Depp during the whole fucking Me Too movement. But I got this weird attack, right? I got these attacks from I don't know if it was the Majors fans or they hired a bot army, but they attacked me on there was a lot of angry comments on my last video about Jonathan Majors, and they all kept repeating the same message. Do your research, do your research. Look, it's almost as if the guy who's worked in a New York district attorney's office for over a decade, who has friends who are in the Manhattan district attorney's office who are attorneys, it's almost as if I had a feeling about how things were going to go, or how things were going, I should say. I didn't have to follow the fucking trial, though. That's not the point. The point is, I was talking about what this would do to Disney's product. Jonathan Majors, whether he was guilty or innocent, I don't think he's a great fucking actor. So I didn't think he should stay as Kang, but now that's for sure out the fucking wayside, because Jonathan Majors, who's one of Hollywood's fastest rising stars, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Look at fucking New York Times trying to get me to sign up for $1 a week. Man, I would sign up for free. Before misdemeanor domestic violence charges halted his ascent, was found guilty of assault and harassment on Monday for attacking his girlfriend in a car in Manhattan. Now, what does this mean? His sentencing is going to be, let's read forward. I'd already heard this, but his sentencing right here is scheduled for February 6th. Now, let me get to that. Shortly after a 6-person jury in Manhattan announced the verdict, Marvel Studios parted ways with the actor, as they should have. Should have waited. I'm glad that they waited. I'm glad that they waited in terms of letting him go for this. I think that they should have just scrapped Kang as a character to begin with a long time ago, but that's how they should have, right? The jury acquitted Mr. Majors on 2 counts that required prosecutors to show that he had acted with intent, one of assault and one of harassment. But jurors found Majors guilty on the other 2 charges after more than 5 hours of deliberation. The verdict thwarted Mr. Majors' hopes of salvaging his career by proving his innocence in the March altercation. His future in the film industry is now clouded, and he could face just under a year in jail. His sentencing is scheduled for February 6th. Look, I don't think this dude's going to see the inside of a fucking prison cell, not even a fucking day. Like, he ain't going to see the inside of a jail cell at all. And there's no bars in this guy's future. But his fucking career in the MCU, that shit is gone, man. It's forever gone. And it was probably always going to be gone. Even if he had been found innocent, it was going to always hang over his head because the court of public opinion, right? So I just feel like this kind of, and not that this is a silver lining for Disney, but now they've got a chance to do away with the whole Kang thing and either recast him, which I think is a terrible idea because Kang, again, I think is a shit villain and a really shit villain in the MCU. Okay. They haven't done a good job at fucking building that character up. Fucking scrap it, dude. You're gonna have to, the MCU, if this is not constant hammerings to Disney of scrap the MCU or put it on a fucking back burner for 5 to 10 years, let it cool down and get some competent writers. I don't know. Like, it's like divine providence at this point. It talks about how he didn't react to the guilty verdict. The jurors found him guilty of reckless assault and harassment after a whirlwind 2-week trial in which the actor, like most defendants, did not testify. They talk about the altercation on her first day of testimony this month. She gave jurors a full account of what happened. I talked about the text messages. She says about how he tried to pry her fingers away because what happened was she said that she had seen that he had received a flirty text from another woman. He reached out, grabbed his phone out of his hand, and then according to her, he tried to like pry her fingers away, and then he twisted her arm and her hand and her arm, and then she went to the hospital because of the blow across her head. And then they talk about eventually she said Mr. Majors asked the driver to stop the vehicle. Videos that jurors watched showed Majors jumping out, followed by her. Okay. Which, again, those weird comments of people being like, do your research, man. He ran away. Jonathan Majors ran away. Dude, people run away from a fucking scene of a crime all the time. It happens all the fucking time. Okay? I don't know where the fuck they thought. I guess they should have done their research, right? I guess you should have fucking done your research, huh, guys? Anyway, we get back to this. They're talking about that it was Mr. Jabari who had assaulted the client, so forth, so forth. They're talking about more. Prosecutors urged jurors to remain focused on what had happened in and directly outside the car. Mr. Major's arguments appeared to fall flat. A judge prevented the actor's lawyers from detailing evidence that convinced at least one police detective that there was probable cause to arrest Mr. Jabari in October, months after the incident. A lawyer for Mr. Majors was defiant in a statement, arguing that jurors had not believed her story. Apparently, they had believed her story enough to fucking find him guilty. This is a criminal case, not a civil case, man. There's a higher fucking statute of evidence that has to be proved. And I guess it was enough for them to find him guilty. And they're disappointed. Still has faith in the process and looks forward to fully clearing his name. Look, man, there is no hope for that. It does not matter if this dude goes and appeals his case and the entire conviction is overturned. Doesn't fucking matter. Disney will not touch this fucking guy with a 10-foot pole. They will just not. He is, again, tainted product. Okay? And listen, a lot of people, Hollywood will forgive a lot of things, right? Because they're garbage fucking studios. These studios are fucking the shittiest of studios. Just dens of depravity, right? But then they can forgive you if you're like a fucking drug addict and an animal and whatnot. But a person who's beating a woman or a man or something, hey man, you are not, the court of public opinion is not going to forgive that, okay? It's an ugly thing. It is an ugly thing. And I just don't see any hope for this man to salvage a career. And it just talks a little bit more. This is something that I kind of wanted to talk about here, where they talk about how he had, they talked about abuse and, you know, the fact that it was that it was physical abuse and that there was right here, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin L. Bragg, who, let me clarify, Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan District Attorney, is a colossal fucking turd. That is one of the worst things that's ever happened to New York City, okay? He is a piece of fucking shit. Alvin Bragg, you fucking suck. But you are right here where he says that the trial had demonstrated the psychological and emotional abuse that is far too common in domestic violence cases. I've seen it, having worked in a special victims unit for so many years and having friends that worked in that domestic violence unit. Like, a lot of these cases, like, dude, people don't realize, they think that it's something like out of a Hallmark, right? They think it's something out of a Hallmark movie where the the terrible husband is just constantly raining blows on their spouse. It's not always like that. Sometimes it is, sadly enough. But a lot of the times it is that psychological and emotional abuse, that grip that they put. It's layers upon that, where these fucking abusers don't even have to fucking lift a hand to get their point across, right? They're just fucking garbage beings who have manipulated and tormented their fucking victims for years, and they could just torment them like that. So he is right in this, and it's sad that, you know, I don't know to the extent as to how far this went. If, you know, look, right now the courts are clearly saying that this guy is an abuser. And that makes him a fucking grade A scumbag. And I don't know what fucking, I saw this thing towards the bottom where they're saying Mr. Majors first gained attention 2019 with this film, The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Never heard of it, but it's an independent film, so obviously I probably wouldn't have. Quickly expanded into blockbuster movies, delivering acclaimed performances in Creed 3 and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Hey man, am I fucking like in Bizarro world? Did they change the I know that they changed the definition for words all the time, right? Like, you know how garbage people try to be, you know, racist towards certain races, but they say, you know, you can't, that doesn't count as racism, right? No, it's still racism, man. It's just that you don't like that ugly word associated with you, but you're still racist. But did they change the word, for the definition for blockbuster? Because last I checked, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was not a fucking blockbuster. It was a buster, as in it busted their fucking wallets and cost them a fucking fortune. Which, look forward to my end of the year video, the biggest losers and winners of 2023, because I will be breaking down how bad of a year this has been for a certain House of the Mouse. But like, what did Creed 3 make? I don't know what the hell Creed 3 made, but was it that huge of a fucking win? Let me see something here. Creed 3 was made on a budget. Yeah, that's a fucking win right there. $75 million budget. It probably cost them what? $50 million to, because they're not going to spend $100 million on marketing. But, you know, 75 plus 50, and it made $275 million. 275 divided by 2 minus what, 125? All right, so it made back its budget and a profit. It's okay for a movie like that to be considered a success, because when Marvel spends $400 million on a film and they make $850 million, they're not fucking, that's not a success. You don't spend $400 million to get back $50 million. But these smaller budgeted films, when they make those kind of successes, that is a success. But I never saw any of the Creed films. But I could tell you this was not a fucking blockbuster. They're in their own fucking la la land, man. The New York Times, dollar week. Fuck off, man. Marvel Studio had intended to build several films around the villainous character he played in Quantumania, and had been waiting for the outcome of the criminal case before deciding whether to continue. Mr. Majors was scheduled to lead Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, which had been scheduled for 2026. The studio will now move forward without Mr. Majors. It recently hired the screenwriter Michael Waldron to work on a new script. More reshoots, more expensive product. Dude, yeah, and this is what I said here, even before the verdict. The trial had damaged Mr. Majors. Look, man, this right here, Marvel needs to seriously, why does my thing keep doing that? Marvel needs to seriously take a deep, deep look at what they're going to freaking do, because forget the Kang character. Marvel, I'm going to give you some free advice, right? Do your research. No, that's going to be my tagline from now on. If I had merch, that would be a fucking mocking line of mine. Do your research. Marvel, step away from this Kang character too, because now it's definitely, people think Kang, they're going to think Jonathan Majors. Do you remember how they were like losing their minds on the red carpet for this dude? You remember that? Like how they were going crazy look at this. Like, holy shit. Go back and find, I'll see if I can find it someday and I'll post it up somewhere, but go look at that video when they were doing the red carpet for Quantum Mania and how they were like salivating. They were just taking turns stroking and sucking his dick about how great fucking Jonathan Majors was. They were just they were dick riding hard, right? And now, woo, that has not aged well. Anyway, I just wanted to touch on this because I touched on it last week and I said how bad this was going to look either way for Disney. And now this is the worst case scenario. The only silver lining is that maybe they can, find themselves a new villain. Again, Disney, free advice. Take some time. Get away from the Kang character. Restructure your MCU. They need to make the Deadpool movie be Deadpool kills the universe. What if Deadpool killed the MCU, kills the Marvel universe? I don't know. I know some of you may not be like big comic book fans, but that was an actual 2011 comic where Deadpool kills the entire Marvel universe. And that might be where they need to go. They may need Ryan Reynolds to just whack off the entire, not in that sense, to whack the fucking Marvel universe, start anew, start with your X-Men, start with your Fantastic Four, recast your Avengers, and start all over again, because the Kang Dynasty, all that, holy shit, I wonder if they are going to make a announcement. They got to make an announcement soon, right? About what they're going to do with the movies. Are they still going to, are they going to recast? Anyway, now I'm off on a rant. Thank you guys for taking the time. As always, your time is precious. I appreciate you guys looking and watching my videos. Please hit that like button, hit that share button, hit all the buttons. Make sure to leave me a comment. What do you think is going to happen now? Did you think that they were going to find him guilty? 2, what do you think is going to happen right now with the MCU? Do you think that they're going to keep Kang and recast him? Do you think that they're going to make another villain? Like I said, make a Legion of Doom, the Brotherhood of Mutants. Oh my God, man. The Brotherhood of Mutants. Not that I want Disney to do it. I really don't. I like, on second thought, like that's what I would love to see, is the Brotherhood of Mutants, but I don't want to see Disney butcher more. My God, man, I can't imagine what they're going to do with the X-Men. But let me know what you guys think they should do. Should they keep Kang the character because they've invested this time into him and they're just going to recast him? Do you think that they should make new villains? Go ahead with another villain? Do you think that they should go with what I'm thinking, and that's just fucking scrap the MCU for another 5 to 10 years and try again? Let me know what you guys think. I try my absolute best to respond to every single comment. I truly do. Thank you as always, guys. Your time is precious. Thank you for spending it here. Take care of yourselves.